Boker Tov, Yom Tov, Zohrim Tovim, and Laila Tov, no matter where you are at. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Carrie, and I am going to share some scripture with you with a conversation that I was having with some friends of ours. It was engaged in an email, and I decided to look it up. And it is something that I think that we do need to address, because on the surface, it looks like there is, it's an issue of duality, and on the surface that would be correct. But when you look at it much deeper, the revelation is quite astounding. So I want to be able to share that with you today. We are looking in Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, and Esau I have hated. Now, that doesn't quite make sense in lieu of the oneness principle. But when you can see how, through some of the hidden side of what is being shared, it is quite revealing, and I'm excited to be able to share it with you. So to make it easier, we will bring up uh, the backside of what the word definitions are from the analysis of this Peshitta. And the first word that we can see here is Aleph Yod Kaf. And the definition of that on above is as according to, and then we have the word right. So there's nothing in this first word that has any letters added or deleted to them. But I do want to share something with you through the letters themselves. We already have a sense of oneness here because the Aleph is the first letter and it means strong leader. It is the inhale of the spirit breath. It also has two yods that make up and are connected to a vav. So there's a vision from above and a vision below that are connected to bring this oneness principle together, the strength of the leader. Then we have the yod kaf, and both of these letters have the meaning of power. One is open-handed, the other one is close-handed. One is to give, the other is to receive. So in this stance, it's interesting that in the Paleo Hebrew, it's the exact opposite of what is written in the modern Hebrew. So one would be a closed and then the other would be opened in Paleo, and then in modern Hebrew, it is the open and the closed. But I love this because there is a circular nature in this, that opening the hand means to close it, and close it means to open it. Hopefully I didn't lose you. But in this regard, this is a vision that is given to you that has power, means, and a direction attached to it. It is the work and the deed of the hand that is given to those who grasp a hold of the power found within the languages that bring revelation, a cup that is wanting to be emptied out so it can be filled again in order to have the power that comes from oneness. Then we have the word written, katab. Now, it's important to understand too that this word meaning written is actually connected to the sacred wedding, the ancient Hebrew wedding, as far as the ketubah goes. It is a written document that is a spiritual wedding contract, not like the ones that we have today, but ones that, when it was written, it was all about protecting the bride. So in this case, we've shared that everyone is the bride, just some don't know it yet. And some are awakening to that, and some it will be revealed to them through the teachers that come. And in this case, it is a door that is coming to knock on the door of your heart to reveal to you that there is something that is to be found on the inside of you, a revelation that will deliver you, and it will be as if a deep well has been uncovered within, that will help you realize that in a lot of ways that one is spiritually poor and feeble. But through this door, it will bring the covenant to you, as it has been written. And it's interesting again that we have in writing, we have the letter Kaf, which is spelled through the constituent letters Kaf Pe, which again has to do with the sacred languages, those that come from the mouth that bring forth revelation of the covenant of love, where you are exempt from judgment, that brings forth the power on the inside, the work and deed of the hand, the work that needs to take place within you, the power, means, and direction to spiritually build your temple, Bet Tov, through the 222 journey, the two paths of the 22 letters, the teachings of Mother and Father that are going to build love. And we use what has been written as our teaching manual, because the door is going to come and present this information to you so that you will be able to see it and become it. Because if you can see it, you can become it. And like Ken has said, it's the difference between looking at it and looking as it. We have Jacob next, and this is very interesting to see that this is the root of his name, Yaakov, but look at what's in front of it, Adalat Lamed. This is a Hebrew word that means poor, like weak and feeble. And this is the root of the word Dalet, which is the literal spelling of the symbol Dalet. And I know for those of you who aren't aware of the Hebrew language, every letter symbol is created by other letter symbols that have come together to form and give its energy to the single symbol. That's why we always say that the Hebrew and Aramaic are written in shorthand. So in this case, the Dalet, the door, has come to be a teaching shepherd of light to Yaakov. And one of the things that is really good to understand about Jacob, this isn't Israel here. This is written as Jacob, which means he who grasps the heel. We have been told that it was a supplanter, but Jacob was in a lower position and he was trying to prevent his head from being crushed by Esau. So it is the hand that catches the heel, so as the head does not get crushed. Well, in a lot of ways, the poor and the feeble that do not realize the sovereignty that we have within are going to be trying to protect their head from being squashed by those that are over, because they haven't realized the sovereignty there within them, like when Jacob wrestled and actually became Israel. So the door comes as a teaching shepherd of light and brings the letters of light to you. That then is the power, means, and direction given through this small seed vision, which is going to be the work and deed of your hand, in order to give you the ability to see what you need to elevate the fallen flesh beast ego nature, which is one of the reasons why you are poor and feeble and have to try to catch the heel from crushing your head. And by being able to see this fountain within you, this gives you the ability to compress light within during the circle of time, to find the narrow pathway between what is the hidden and what has been revealed, the pathway between the system of duality, so that you can connect to the building of your temple through the 222 path. Then we have the word rakam, which is actually loving kindness. I'll go down here so you can see this again. And in Aramaic, it means love, mercy, the mercy and compassion, loving kindness. And this is really amazing when you see this, because one of the Aramaic words, and also a shortened version in Hebrew, is the word meth, which means death. So this is loving kindness that is brought to those who are in the process of death. And notice that normally death is written mem vav tav. So these are those that are in the waters of chaos, that haven't been able to connect to the heart within, and they haven't been able to connect to the covenant that comes from the Father, which is unconditional love. And this is why loving kindness is so important. So to those who are poor and destitute, because again, the door is going to come to present the teachings of light to those who want to, that need to grasp the heel so that their head isn't crushed. The teacher is going to come bringing forth loving kindness to you, to those that are poor and destitute, to raise them up, to be the first fruit leaders, to be the head in the top instead of being in the lower position. This is going to affect the outside of you as well. Because one thing I didn't share with you is the bet means inside. So this is the compression of light connecting to your heart on the inside. And then you will be raised up and it will affect your outside. Chet also means and is an esoteric letter that is connected to life. It is the 8th letter and it is spelled Het Yotav, which is literally the covenant of life. So you'll be raised up from being poor and destitute, so that even on the outside, you will actually be as one who is in the covenant of life, who has been brought through and has been given life through the living water teachings of Mother and Father. And when you see the mem, just to let you know, there is another mem that you do not see. The constituent letters that make up the symbol is a mem and a mem sophite. And the mem sophite is the closed form, which is in the waters of Shalom. So this is being brought to those who are in the waters of chaos, so that through the teachings, because it's mother before father, that they can go and enter in her teachings to eventually be brought forth in the sealed chambers, the hidden chambers of Father's teachings, so that the covenant of life can be brought to them because they are in the state of death right now. Then we have the word Esau. And the Vav is connected, and if you were just reading this in surface, this would be and Esau. But I want you to see something here. The Vav means to connect, and this is one who is connected to mother since it's on the prefix of the word. This is one who has been teachable. And notice that the word Esau has a lamed in front of it. So there is something that we need to see here regarding Esau as also a teaching shepherd of light. Esau's name in the root is from Asa, meaning to accomplish, to do or to make. We'll go down here so that you can actually see the definition through Strong's. To do or make in the broadest and widest sense. And when we take a look at it, there's pressing and squeezing, to be prepared, to produce, to be done to accomplish, performed, committed, done. There are as many things that you can see, even the point of appointed, to acquire, to observe, and to celebrate, to put in order, make offerings. So in the sense, to do or to make, if we bring this back in to what is being done here, and I don't know if you notice this, let me show you one more time. Esau's name has changed. When you go to the way it was written, meaning sensibly felt, rough handling, apparently, Esau is Ein Sheen, which is actually a scene because the dot, the dagesh, is above the left-hand side, and it has a vav, meaning to connect. So when this moved from the Hebrew to the Aramaic, because again, we need to look and see what the overlaying is telling us. So it has now been from a scene, the sheen symbol, to now what we see in the written form, to the Semek. This I find extremely amazing because this is one of the profound effects that happened when Yeshua came. He came to give us the divine feminine teaching. And this took us from the sheen, the fire, the consuming fire that would take away the beast ego nature, to one that would be given the symbol, which is the wedding ring, and also not only the wedding ring, but the signet ring. And this means to be protected, to be surrounded, propped in, hedged in with thorns as a shield. So now we have this word meaning to do or make in the widest sense. And it is those who are teachable, the humble ones connected to Mother, who have connected to the teachings of letters of light, the shepherd of light, which came and presented itself, so that you could see the process of accessing the fountain within that would bring forth the wedding ring as one who is now surrounded, supported, hedged in, and propped up, having been wed, giving the wedding ring and the signet ring as connected to the Father, because these letters of light, the teaching shepherd of light, came to bring that which you needed to make of yourself, to be at the point where you are wedded and you have the signet ring of whom? The Father. Because now you are connected to the Father, because this is on the suffix and not the prefix, which means you have power under control. You are of the meek. So you have humility and meekness, because the teaching shepherd of light brought the letters of light and love to you, so you could see the purpose in order to make this happen, to create it to be. Then we have the word hate. And just like we saw with Esau's name changing to the Semek, we also have the same thing happen here to the word hate. When we went into Jastro's dictionary, when I looked this up, it shows that there is hatred here, and hater or an enemy. But what I find most fascinating, and it's only because I've studied the languages between the Hebrew and the Aramaic in order to see this, is that this transference in these letters from the Sheen to the Semek, in order to have the wedding ring, it means that you have become one. The two have become one. You have had the intimate place of connecting and knowing in becoming in those unified field, which means that you are an enemy now to the system of duality because you've become one. This doesn't say that Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated. It is saying that through the process of becoming, as those who had to catch the heel to protect their head, that loving kindness came to them, so that while they were in death, they could actually find life and find the covenant of the Father, which is unconditional love, if they approached it in humility, connected to Mother's teaching as she would bring forth the light and the purpose for you in order to be wed, so you could connect to Father in the meekness and the power that comes from His teaching. These are those who are of the wedded ones, who have found the spiritual path, because the noon is connected to the activity of life, and it means the seed of life. It means to produce an heir and also to give you a stable foundation in which to grow from. So the wedded ones are the ones who found the spiritual path, and they were given the power, means, and direction from the Father, so that they could be marked with His sign, signature frequency, the fingerprint of Father Himself, having His mark of unconditional love. You are now an enemy, one who is hated in the system of duality, because you have become that which is opposing to this system down below. This is a profound revelation, and you can see how much information is contained within a very, very small verse, and why the English translation leaves it completely hollow, because the esoteric side, which is now given to us because the books have fully been opened in the time of the revealing, is letting us know this process is available to those who would be willing to jump in, to connect to Mother's teachings through the letters of light and love, in order to have the power that comes from the Father and connecting to Him, so that we can be unified. And yes, the system of duality will come against those who are of the unified field, but that is our role, to show the different path, that we do not have to stay in the system of duality any longer. Then there is no need, as love and hate are really both words that have frequencies that are connected to passion. Love has passion, and so does hate. But when you render everything clear and you become one, then there is no longer for this love or hate, because the passion is what connects them in the unified field into oneness. And that is what we are learning by coming here and allowing the door to come and present the letters of light to us, so that we are no longer crushed by our head, but that we are the ones that are the loving kindness that would be presenting this to those who are in the stage of death right now, so that they can find life and have it abundantly. Shalom, shalom, and namaste.